February 28, 2026, 9:47 a.m., Tehran. An Iranian foreign ministry spokesman sits in front of a camera and tells the world that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is alive, safe, in command. He says it with total confidence. He has been dead for 6 minutes. The Beit Rahbari compound, the most fortified address in the Middle East, is already a smoking crater. This is the story of how the CIA didn't breach his walls. They read his calendar, and his calendar never lied. The underdog origin. To understand how you kill a man with a $10 billion security budget, you have to look at his calendar. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was not a man who likes surprises. For 37 years, he followed the same clock. He woke up at the same time, he prayed at the same time, and most importantly, he sat at his desk at the same time. The system in this story is the Beit Rahbari compound, a 15-acre fortress in the center of Tehran. Walls 20 feet high, guards every 10 feet, cameras that see in the dark, sensors in the ground that detect movement from hundreds of meters away. Most people thought this place was what intelligence professionals call a black hole. No signals intelligence could penetrate it. No aerial platform could observe it without being tracked. But the underdogs here were the data analysts. People earning $65,000 a year sitting in nondescript offices in Virginia and Tel Aviv. They didn't have guns, they had spreadsheets. And for years they stared at satellite photographs of that compound, not looking for weapons, not looking for troop movements, looking for patterns. Patterns were everywhere. A specific window in the northeast corner of the main building opened at the same time every morning. A service entrance on the east side cycled deliveries on a schedule so consistent you could set a watch to it. 3 black cars, always the same configuration, arrived and parked in the same formation outside the main building during working hours every single day. Here is what the CIA analysts understood. The Supreme Leader wasn't hiding in a deep cave. He was working in a standard office on the ground floor, on a predictable schedule, every day. Most analysts would file a report and move on. These didn't. They understood something important. A man who has never been punished for his routine doesn't see the routine as a vulnerability. He sees it as proof that he is safe. A man who believes he is safe stops being afraid. A man who stops being afraid stops changing his behavior. That was the hole in the Iranian armor. The light bulb moment came in late 2025. Intelligence confirmed that Khamenei was meeting with his inner circle, senior advisors, all in one place at a specific confirmed time. According to Reuters, the US and Israel prepared to strike at precisely that moment. The window was narrow. The calculation was immediate. Strike before the meeting ends, before anyone disperses, before Khamenei can be moved underground. The vulnerability was never a flaw in a radar system. It was a gap in a calendar. But how do you kill a man protected by one of the most sophisticated air defense networks on Earth? The mechanism. Breaking through reinforced concrete is not a problem you solve with a bigger explosion. It is a problem you solve with physics. A standard bomb detonates on impact. The moment the casing touches a hard surface, it explodes outward. Against a hardened target, the blast energy dissipates into open air. The roof absorbs surface damage. The room below feels a vibration. The person inside walks away. Penetrator-class weapons work on an entirely different principle. The primary tool for a mission like this is most likely a weapon in the class of the GBU-72, a real 5,000-pound bunker buster. The U.S. Air Force has publicly tested at Eglin Air Force Base with documented arena lethality evaluations and large-scale concrete penetration assessments. The GBU-72 weighs 5,000 pounds and is 19 feet long. The most important part of its design is its casing. Instead of being assembled from separate parts, the body is machined from a single solid piece of hardened steel. No seams, no welds, no structural weak points. When it strikes a reinforced concrete roof at over 1,000 miles per hour, it does not shatter. It drives through, acting like a shaped spike, converting velocity into penetrating force through successive layers of material. Here is where it gets interesting. The physics behind this is Newton's second law. Force equals mass multiplied by acceleration. 5,000 pounds of dense steel traveling at over 1,000 miles per hour generates a force that doesn't merely break concrete. It liquefies it on contact at the point of impact. But raw force alone doesn't finish the job. That's where the smart fuse comes in. A normal bomb is designed to detonate the moment it touches something hard. If it hit a bunker roof, the occupant below might feel a vibration and keep working. The GBU-72 uses a sensor, described in U.S. Air Force procurement documentation, that detects the difference between a solid wall and an empty space. When the weapon hits the first layer of concrete, it registers the impact but keeps going. As it passes into open space, it counts a floor. When it hits the next concrete layer, it counts floor 2. The bomb can be programmed to detonate at a specific depth, the third level down, the basement, the exact room where the target is located. A weapon that detonates inside the target room delivers all of its energy inward. The walls become amplifiers. The blast pressure has nowhere to go. Think of it this way. A balloon poked with one needle makes a small hole. The air leaks out slowly, but if you could hit that balloon from every direction at the exact same moment, the balloon doesn't pop, it disintegrates. In a sealed concrete room, overpressure works the same way. The pressure spike is so fast and total that it crushes the space before the structure even begins to collapse. The broader strike campaign, confirmed by CENTCOM, used precision munitions launched from air, land, and sea simultaneously. Israeli reporting described approximately 200 warplanes striking roughly 500 objectives in coordinated waves across 22 provinces. The compound strike was nested inside a campaign designed so that by the time Iranian air defense systems understood the full scale of what was happening, the highest priority targets had already been hit. Weapons like this are not improvised on short notice. The engineering has been done for years. The question was never whether the weapons could do the job. The question was whether the intelligence could find the window. It did. The execution and near misses to 8 a.m. Strike packages launch from multiple platforms. CENTCOM later confirms. Air, land, and sea. F-35 stealth jets. Long-range strike aircraft. Naval vessels offshore. The U.S. designates its component Operation Epic Fury. Israel's component, Roaring Lion. Both operating in full coordination, they fly in total silence. 9 a.m. Iranian early warning radar stations across the country begin picking up unusual signatures. Multiple aircraft, multiple vectors, moving fast. The duty officer at Iran's Air Defense Command escalates, but the picture is fragmented. Too many targets, too many directions. The system was designed to handle one threat at a time. This isn't one threat. 9:12 a.m. The strike package enters the airspace above Tehran. Below, the city is in the middle of a normal working morning. Traffic, people going to work, no idea what is above them. 9:15 a.m. Near Miss 1, an Iranian radar operator in western Tehran gets a solid track on something moving at altitude. He calls it in. His supervisor tells him to keep tracking. For 3 minutes, the track holds a direct vector toward the compound. The supervisor picks up the phone to escalate. Before the call connects, the radar site goes dark, destroyed. The track dies with it. 9:30 a.m. The jets are over the city. Overhead intelligence confirms the compound. The cars are in position. The window is open. The meeting is ongoing. The supreme leader is in the building. 9:35 a.m. Inside the compound, Khamenei is at his desk. He has been at this desk, in this room, on this schedule, for 37 years. He has survived the Iran-Iraq War. He survived an assassination attempt in 1981 that cost him the use of his right arm. He has outlasted every government that ever tried to unseat him. This morning feels no different. 9:38 a.m. Near Miss 2, a guard on the compound's outer perimeter notices something. He can't place it. The city sounds wrong. A low pressure in the air that isn't traffic. He radios his commander. His commander tells him to stand by. The guard radios again. Still nothing. By the time the commander decides to escalate, it is 9:39. 9:39 a.m. Somewhere above Tehran, the strike package is in final approach. Radar sites going dark one by one. Command centers hit. By the time anyone tries to redirect toward the compound specifically, the window has already closed. 9:40 a.m. Bombs away. The weapons fall in silence. Invisible. Arriving before the systems below have time to process what they're tracking. The first impact is a sound the neighborhood has never heard before. Not an explosion in the conventional sense. A compression. A deep chest-level thud, followed immediately by the ground moving. The main building of the compound ceases to exist. It does not fall outward. It collapses inward and downward. The guards on the outer perimeter are thrown back by pressure before fire reaches them. The meeting room is gone before anyone in it has time to move. 9:41 a.m. It is over. 9:47 a.m. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghawi appears on camera. Khamenei is alive, safe, in command. He has been dead for 6 minutes. The fall and the legacy. For the first 3 hours, Iran said nothing definitive. State television continued normal programming, but Tehran was already speaking for itself. Phones, videos, smoke rising from a compound that was supposed to be impenetrable. The denial collapsed in stages. Iranian news agencies Tasnim and Mehr stated Khamenei was alive, steadfast and firm in commanding the field. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi told NBC News he was alive as far as I know. Trump posted on Truth Social that Khamenei was dead. Israeli Defense Minister Katz confirmed it. Reuters reported that an unnamed senior Israeli official had located the body. Still, Tehran held the line. Then Iranian state media could hold it no longer. A presenter on live television began to cry. He told the country that the light of Iran had been martyred. The government declared 40 days of national mourning. Alongside Khamenei, the strikes also killed the IRGC commander, Iran's defense minister, the chief of staff of the armed forces, and Khamenei's senior national security advisor, the entire inner circle, eliminated in one room, at one moment. Iran had not faced a leadership succession since 1989. The Assembly of Experts, constitutionally responsible for appointing a new supreme leader, now faced that transition under active military conditions. No named heir, no vice supreme leader, a country in the middle of a conflict it had not planned for. Here is what the post-mortems will eventually say. Ali Khamenei was not killed by a failure of his defenses. His walls held. His guards were at their stations. His compound was, by any conventional measure, one of the most fortified locations on Earth. The technology protecting him was real and capable. He was killed by a failure of adaptability. For 37 years, the same window opened at the same time, the same cars parked in the same formation, the same routine, day after day and year after year, because the routine had never been punished before. A habit that has never been punished does not feel like a vulnerability. It feels like safety. The analysts did not breach the walls. They watched the walls long enough to understand that the man inside had forgotten the walls were there. You cannot protect a man who has stopped being afraid. You cannot hide a man who keeps the same schedule across 4 decades. You cannot build a wall high enough to stop someone who has already memorized which side the sun hits it from. To this day, the spot where his desk stood is a flat piece of concrete. No memorial, no marker, just a hole where certainty used to live. The calendar didn't lie. His schedule did. Routine was just the door.